Hi, welcome to my kitchen. It's me, Susan Buchser-Lochocki, and I'm going to read another children's book. This one's for a little bit advanced readers, so there's lots of words and not as many pictures. So that's why I'm in a different outfit. I'm in my suffragette outfit, promoting women's rights and also promoting children to read. So this is what I'm going to read. It's called If You Were There When They Signed the Constitution. And yeah, so let me begin. It's also by Scholastic, so it should be quite interesting. It's written by Elizabeth Levy and illustrated by Joan Holub. Again, here we go. Let's begin. If you were there when they signed the Constitution. That's the inside. So I'm just going to read for about 5 minutes, and then I'll probably end up having to do at least 4 or 5 parts to this. But yeah. So what is the Constitution? The Constitution of the United States is the basic law of our nation, like the rules for a game. Only these rules are for the government, and all citizens must play. The Constitution sets up the rules for how laws are made and who will make the laws, who will decide if we go to war, who will have power, you, me. You can find those answers in the Constitution. The Constitution of the United States was written in 1787. It has lasted 200 years, longer than any other written constitution. The men who wrote it wanted their new nation to last. They knew how hard it was to create a government that could change with time. After all, they had just fought and won a war against a government that had refused to change. That war was the American Revolution. Why did we go to war? For over 100 years, we were colonies that belonged to England and ruled by the king. In 1763, King George III began to demand more taxes from the American colonies. People didn't like having to pay a tax on every little thing, on paper, glass, and tea. But they had no one to speak for them in England. No taxation without representation, they cried. After a while, many Americans wanted to rebel, to break away from England and become independent. American rebels in New York City tore down a metal statue of King George. The statue was melted and made into bullets for fighting the revolution. What was the Declaration of Independence? On July 4th, 1776, the Declaration of Independence officially declared the American colonies free and independent. It has become one of the most famous documents in the world. It declares that all men are created equal. It said that the 13 colonies, now 13 free states, free from the King of England. But notice it didn't say that the 13 states were united. The rebels didn't know if they could win the revolution. 1/3 of the people in the colonies stayed loyal to the king. One of the signers of the Declaration of Independence was Benjamin Franklin. He begged the 13 new states to work together. "We must all hang together, or assuredly we shall all hang separately," he said. What did the King of England think of the Declaration of Independence? Ben Franklin was right. King George wanted to hang all the rebels. The king sent more than 100 ships full of soldiers to fight the American rebels. General George Washington led the revolution against England. During the long Revolutionary War, General Washington gathered around him young men from all over the 13 states. These young men thought of themselves as fighting for a nation, not for their own state back home. Washington treated them like they were sons he never had. 6 years after the Revolution, in 1787, several of these young men would go to Philadelphia with George Washington to help him write the Constitution. So here there are no pictures, just words. I'll read one more page and then we'll end here. What rules did the 13 states have before the Constitution? The 13 states knew they couldn't fight a revolution without helping each other. Right in the middle of the revolution, they wrote a set of rules for themselves. They called this agreement the Articles of Confederation. Under the Articles of Confederation, the 13 states elected a Congress, a group of people to make laws. In this Congress, each state had one vote, no matter how many people lived in that state. The Articles could not be changed unless every state agreed. Okay, so that's the end of part 1. I hope you enjoyed it. I will be back tomorrow to read another section of it. So yeah, this is 8 minutes long. I guess I'll do 8-minute segments. Have a good day wherever you are, whatever time it is. Take care. Bye. And thank you for stopping by at my kitchen.